Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps. It is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man, who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the yard of streams for another edition of the Smackdown Breakdown, part of Pitts and Sara's wrestling show, where we do in fact take no nights off. And obviously, you can't be breaking down the Smackdown without the best of the West. You can't forget about Miss Sara Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
Hi there. How you
Hello.
doing?
I am in pain.
Yeah, that's why we're on Sunday today.
Yeah. So, I think I don't know what I did. I hurt my this is a long rant that I'm sure no one cares about, but
we're here, Sara. Let's let it out.
I hurt my back 6 years ago from basically standing up. From the ground, standing up from the ground.
Retail? Is it that retail grind?
No, from standing up, from sitting on the ground. That's what it was. I was outside with a cat, and I got up and I pulled a muscle in my back or something. I have no idea.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like when I broke my foot, all I was doing was turning around on my tiptoes and I broke a bone in my foot. It's like I just have terrible luck, I guess. It's just it's embarrassing because it's like, Sara, how'd you break your foot? I'm like, walking, it's so stupid. But anyway, so I ended up having to go to the chiropractor, and that helped, whatever. And then recently I've been having really bad pain in my lower back, and people were like, well, it's because you don't sit at your desk. It's you're writing and editing and blah blah blah, and you're not at your desk. And I still don't do it for the most part. And then it's just been I can't really bend down. I can't squat. When I sit, it hurts. When I stand up, it hurts. And I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I went to the Joint, because that's just not a free, it's like a clinic. It's like a chiropractor clinic or whatever that you don't need an appointment for. And so yesterday when I went in there, apparently my right hip is all out of place, and that's what's causing all this pain. And I'm like, golly, because I need to get this fixed before Mania. Otherwise, it's gonna be one hell of a week where I'm
do I need to find my Theragun and bring it
and just shoot my back?
Imagine, could you imagine we're at WWE World and we're walking around and it's like, Pat, Theragun. It's like, got it. And you're humped over a trash.
You're standing in line with me to meet Cody, just shooting my back in the back, behind me. And they're like, what is going on? You're like, it's Stony Morning.
Guys, this is production, okay?
Yeah, he's not meeting Cody. He's here for me.
Oh, okay. No, I'll be the first person to be I'll stand in line with you, do the support. But if, if you go up and I have to go that way, fine. That's what the champ does. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. But if you were in pain, and I think I got to find the Theragun, which, get this shit. My brother gave me a Theragun because he got it for one of the movies he worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I already have one, just take it. So then he gave it to my dad. Dickie Pitts has no idea how to use the thing. So he's like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm taking that, no problem. So I gotta find it, but I think I'll have to bring it now, so then we can have some breaks for you to get all rested up.
Well, because
this is gonna be a long week, Sara.
Well, because my biggest concern was the airplane. Because it's not a situation where you can just get up and walk around and stretch out. Some people do, but I always find that weird, and I would never do it.
You're not that guy, pal.
And then I'm like, okay, so that's bad, because the flight there is 4.5 hours, and then the flight back is over 5 hours. So I'm like, cool. But then I'm also thinking about going to wrestling shows where you're sitting down, standing up, sitting down, standing up. I'm like, I don't want to be that grandma that's like, I'm having fun, sitting down, yay, as I'm the one person in the entire arena that's sitting. I don't want to be that.
No, you can't, especially with the amount of people coming out. We can't have that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to fix it. I'm gonna be going back for more adjustment. So just fingers crossed that we can get my back back.
We can get your back, because not only we have wrestling stuff, we got to get that back ready for Wale Mania. All right. Because that's going to be, we're getting that VIP lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what a champ and the best do. We ride VIP.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Kyle going, so maybe some feel. Oh, it's gonna be a fun fucking time. I'm so excited. But before we get there, Sarah, we have a few more shows.
Yes.
Okay, we have we have Raw. No, there's two Raws, right?
Yes.
Before there's
Yes.
two Raws before,
And
two
one smack.
Smackdowns,
One
one
smack.
SmackDown, one SmackDown before we go, and we have to talk about the SmackDown that happened. Yeah, well, Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was, I thought, a solid SmackDown. I just,
It's
I'm not bad at it.
I think the thing is like it's kind of similar to what we said last week about SmackDown, because I think a lot of people were kind of underwhelmed with SmackDown. I think they just run into the issue of not being able to have a ton of stuff on the show because they're still trying to further the WrestleMania card and the storylines. And so they're more restricted because they have a 2-hour show, and then after commercials, obviously it's not 2 hours. Whereas Raw has a little bit more room to be like, okay, we can throw in this and we can throw in this, even though it doesn't have to do with Mania, but the rest of the show is all to do with Mania. And it's like, so that I think makes SmackDown feel a little bit lackluster or like not
Mhm.
as exciting. And so it's like, you got to take it for what it is, I guess, because they're doing what they have to do. I think that part of it is also interesting, as we talked about, where it feels like the SmackDown side is a little bit more behind with like solidifying Mania matches. And I think
Mhm.
that might be a little bit of a speed bump that they're running into, and why people are kind of like, SmackDown was fine, you know?
Yeah, that's the 2 to 3 hour difference definitely
Hmm.
makes an impact there. And when it comes to SmackDown, I wouldn't say they're behind the 8 ball entirely with
No.
Mania, but they just have less time to tell the stories in that
Hmm.
part. And when you have, people debuting and you're doing video packages for them, and you have to get in with backstage segments as well, live backstage segments as well. It seems like a lot of SmackDown is it's more getting ready for Mania. Like that's for the WWE fan who has been following the whole product. Where Raw, like you could jump in, and even if you don't know what's going on in Mania, like you see someone like Candice LeRae and Ivy
Yeah.
Nile, like that's not going to be at Mania, like it's a match, but that's something that panders to that crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's a good balance right now, and I'm not disappointed with any of the product, even though it is, mid. You're not going to get an A on every test. You're not. Sometimes you get a B, and
Hmm.
that's fine. But you're passing, and that's all
Yeah.
that matters. And that's exactly what they're doing. Um, and I think we should just hop right in. As I Remy just like what does Remy want to say something about SmackDown? Like, is that all right?
She might. I don't know. She might want to talk some ish. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So before what Remy, you can gather your thoughts. We have some comments from our other peeps though. Jay's, what's up? Um,
Hello.
Drew is becoming an afterthought for the world
No,
title.
he's not.
No, no,
No, he's not.
he's
No.
not. Nathaniel, I'm in my Lakers jersey. Okay, good. I'm
Did
in
the
my Ducks
Celtics
jersey.
did the Celtics even play today?
I got my Captain Nonsense apparel here with the logo itself. We got Vinny, Ayo. I really want to go to Mania this year. Vinny,
We have tickets for you.
we have tickets if you want to pay us and want to pay the airfare. We have 4 extra tickets, 2 for each night that we're still trying to scalp. My parents are very nice and saying, "Well, you might have more luck selling them down there," and I'm like, "That's great. I keep that optimism, because we need it because no one else is buying." And Sarah, is today your birthday?
No,
And you were just not telling me because I'm pretty sure it's not.
it's October.
That's
So
what I thought.
where are you getting this from, Vinny?
I'm sorry. I
I
know I'm not good
appreciate it.
with birthdays, but I know yours is not close.
I'm a Scorpio. How dare you?
I
But
know. I got my apps.
I appreciate the thoughts, though, Vinny. Thank you.
When 86 beautiful girl.
Thank you.
Great.
So
Great.
nice. You're so nice.
Let's go. Let's just like let's talk about other stuff. Let's talk about this SmackDown.
Okay, so the triumphant return of Rey Mysterio happened
We
on SmackDown. And despite however many months it's been. I don't know how many months it's been. He is still angry with Santos Escobar because that man wanted his leg to be amputated. So I would be sitting at home steaming too if I were in Mysterio, being like, "Excuse me, after everything I did for you, you want them to cut off my leg? That's weird." Um,
I'd be pissed too. I'd be
that
pissed
was
too.
that was a pretty iconic promo, though. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
was always gotta lit.
So I mean, I think you expected this match to go how it was. Of course, it was a good match. These dudes have great chemistry in the ring, and their styles are incredible. I don't care what anyone says. We love it. This is obviously to further their feud. I think I even said like a week or two ago, I thought that this was going to be something because they were probably going to try and have Ray versus Santos or some version of that at Mania, because how could you not at this point? And that is basically what they did. The problem is they're involving Dominic again. So Mr. Dom Dom just comes out of nowhere, basically, in his daddy's mask, and he interferes, which costs Ray the match. And it looks like we might be getting like a Dom and Legato versus Rey Mysterio in the LWO.
There you go. That's
Yeah,
the path that I that's where
which
my mind goes. I don't think we're getting one-on-one Dom Ray again.
no,
No.
no, but like I'm so torn on how I feel about this, because I do think Ray is there. He is able to be back. So yes, of course he should be at Mania. And the
Yeah.
same thing with Legato. Like, you can't be having them on every single week and not have them a part of the card at all, which kind of makes it seem like that means they're giving it away. Legato's losing to, which we already knew, to New Catch Republic next week. We already know. Because remember, there's
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
yeah.
so
I
New
I,
Catch
I thought
Republic.
you okay. Go continue.
Yeah, so I'm kind of torn on how I feel about this, outside of like, the obvious factors of what I just said, because it's like, do we really need this match? Do we really need it to be like a 6-man match? Do we really need to have Dominic still pulling tricks on his dad a year later? Like, I don't know that I'm that excited about it. And I don't really know how they would have made this more exciting. I think they were trying to figure out something for Dominic to do at Mania, and this is their
Mhm.
way. And obviously some of it was hindered because of Ray's injury. But I don't know. This is one of those matches that I feel like would probably be on the pre-show if they still were doing that, because
Yeah, if
it's
they were
like,
still in it. But
yeah.
to me, this match seems like it is the culmination of, the Latino Civil War that we're kind of getting.
Mhm.
When I'm trying to think of why Dom makes sense for this match. Well, you have Angel and Umberto, and then Escobar.
Mhm.
Their fourth is Electra Lopez.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have Latino World Order is just Joaquin
Cruz
and Cruz. Hold on. Yeah, Joaquin and Cruz, add
with Ray
Mysterio,
and
and then
Zelina.
Zelina. So
Mhm.
that's 4-4. If you
Mhm.
add Dom to that side, who do you think would step up for the LWO? Because I know, I have the name in my head.
Carlito.
No. Oh, I forgot about Carlito. Shit. I was thinking Dragon
Dragon
Lee.
Lee. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
Dragon Lee. But
see,
Carlito hates Santos.
yeah, but
So,
Dragon Lee is the one that they were just like attacking and whatever. Like they were just making fun of him for trying to be like
yeah.
little Ray. And to me it's whatever. Like, I mean, I'm not going to be sitting there like chomping at the bit waiting to see it. I think it'll be a fantastic match simply because of
Yes.
who's involved. So I'm not concerned about that. And I'll be entertained. I just think it's one of those matches where you're like, okay, yeah, like if I had to go get a drink, maybe I'd go now, like no
Yeah.
disrespect, but it's not one that you're like, I can't miss that. But then I feel like it also plays into, we were thinking that we might get a match like that between AOP and, the Pride. And that might be
Mhm,
out of question now if they're going to do, the men with a woman against men and a woman team,
mhm.
because then that would mean that BFAB and
Mm,
Scarlett are probably not involved. But,
yeah.
and then that would also mean that the Street Profits were losing. But I feel like they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose to A-Town Down Under. But
I think you're gonna have A-Town Down Under in that ladder match.
let's go. We can get into
I
that
I
later
I need
because
that.
I have some things to say about A-Town Down. Um, anyway, so we move on to the ladies, which we've already seen a little bit of this about Naomi, and she feels a little bit.
I'm
She
sorry. I
feels
just love when
bad.
she does that.
She
I
feels
love when
bad
she does that.
for Bailey because she's getting jumped by damage control and she's kind of fending for herself. So Naomi's like, "Well, we were girls, we were girlies, we were besties when I was here, and so I'm gonna go help her." So Bailey is in the back thanking Naomi for helping her out against her former group, and Naomi's like, "You know what? I'm just trying to do what's right, and I'm gonna further do that when I let Io feel the glow tonight." And that's when Bianca shows up and is like, "What is going on here? Naomi, what are you doing? Bailey, why are you trying to like make good now after everything that you have done to everybody, but especially me?" So they start to bicker. And then when we come back from a break, Naomi is talking to Bianca, kind of trying to calm her down and just being like, "You know what? How you feel is completely valid. Even if it did happen when I wasn't here, like, I don't blame you at all
Mhm.
for having some issue with Bailey, no matter what she's trying to do now. But we can't change the past. And you know that she can't fight damage control by herself. And you wouldn't want to be doing that on your own if the situation were happening to you. So I'm intrigued. I I don't know. I think that I'm kind of like, how is this going to transpire? I feel like this is gonna be another multi-woman match. We're probably gonna get Bianca, Naomi, and Jade versus Damage Control. That's what I'm guessing. But the thing is it might have to be 2-on-2 because Asuka's hurt. So
Yeah, that's one thing that has. What was it? It was reported like 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
yeah, I think they said it's kind of, I think, isn't it undisclosed? Like people aren't really
Yeah,
sure.
they don't know how
So
serious it is. Yeah.
yeah, so because of that, we don't know. Um, I mean, it's possible that she could be back, in a week and a half or almost 2 weeks, 2 weeks from yesterday.
Mhm.
So we don't know, but if she's not, that's going to be interesting because we thought that it would be 3-on-3 so that Jade would be able to have like an official debut in a tag team capacity at WrestleMania. But I can't imagine they would boot Bianca or Naomi to put Jade in you know what I
No, it
mean?
would be like Jade is like a managerial side role, and then
Mhm.
that could spark something where Naomi, Jade, and Bianca have their own little thing going on, whether they're, friends or allies, or they could be with, kind of inner turmoil there. That would
Mhm.
be something to get her going. So I could see it that way. I like this because you need Bianca to be doing something that has nothing to do with the title. It's her
Yes.
just being part of the roster, her group that she would be hanging out with and just going from there. Because that's more organic, more of a genuine feel than just like trying to force her into some feud with like, I don't know, like Selena Vega type of person where it's just like you gotta give her something. And
Yeah.
you it's apparent. This doesn't seem that apparent that they're trying to do it, just like, oh, it flows in well, whatever, boom, connects.
Yeah, well, and her story makes sense. It's kind of similar to when we'll talk about it, but like, why is Seth Rollins teaming up with Cody? It's like, okay, well, they have a common enemy, so that
Exactly.
makes sense, and it feels like that's exactly what they're doing with Bianca. And we already saw a tease of Jade having some issues with damage control, so we'll see. I would love. Oh my god, we're gonna talk about Jade, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, so I am excited to see how this turns out. I guess I'm just curious to see how it happens because it's like, oh my goodness, we expected there was going to be a lot of multi people matches, but my goodness, I don't know that I was expecting like this many. But
It's WrestleMania 2000, baby.
well,
It's the 2000 effect.
and
I love it.
as we said, there's just so many people that feel like they should be on WrestleMania that it's kind of like, okay, well, the only way to truly accomplish that is by doing multi-people matches that aren't battle royals that no one cares about. Like at least multi-people tag team matches or whatever. Like people will be more interested in that than watching a battle royal that is like
Oh
so
yeah.
bad.
No,
So
yeah.
I
They
guess
don't
I
have
can
a
be
big deal
I can be
anymore.
thankful in that regard, I suppose.
You gotta be thankful. You gotta be thankful.
um, okay, did you want to get to any comments before we move on or
Happy Palm Sunday to you, Hassan. Easter's a
hello?
week away.
I
Love
can't
it.
believe I Easter in March always trips me out. Like
It
I'm
does.
I'm not in an age where I like, I'm not a religious person. So
Waiting for the Easter Bunny to bring you your
yeah,
eggs.
but like I have a 5-year-old nephew now, so you
I'm
kind
sure.
of, you see it differently. But
Mhm.
yeah, it is always like tripped me out when it was at the end of March. Like to me, Easter feels like an April
It does.
thing. Yeah.
1,000% feels like an April type of holiday. So,
Mhm.
I don't agree with this though. Beyond going to join Damage Control at WrestleMania, no.
I think okay, I'm intrigued about the idea, but I feel like there are so many rumored turns for Mania. I just don't see it being Bianca because there's people talking about Seth is going to turn on Cody and Rock is going to turn on Roman and this person's going to turn on this person. Like I just feel like it's getting to a point where it's becoming too lengthy. So
You're
like
just saying it because you're just like you're trying to hop on the train.
yeah, I
You're
mean
not like
Bianca
actually.
that would be shocking. Um, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. They still have 2 weeks left to kind of like maybe hint at it. I don't know because maybe they always say like if you can't beat them, join them. So
Pitts is feeling the glow. Damn right. I'm feeling that glow. All right. I like it. Bailey should have to apologize to Bianca first. I agree.
you
I
know,
do. I
it's
like
such a
why
it's
not?
such a weird thing because for me it's like what people put so much stock into apologies and I understand because if someone did something terrible to you at least them acknowledging
Mhm.
like and being sorry for it, okay, but it's also like for I guess for me and this is just from real life that a true apology is a change of behavior. So if you are doing something and you wronged me in some way, it's like, okay, you can apologize, but I'm not necessarily waiting for it. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
Mhm.
then I'm giving too much power to you. But if you then never do that again, or you make up for it in a different way, or you're like a better friend or a better whatever it is, that to me is like more of a sign that you actually are apologetic than you just saying I'm sorry because people just drop I'm sorry for anything. You bump into somebody at, the gas station, you say I'm sorry. You do some you open the door or someone hits you with the door and they're like I'm sorry. It's like it doesn't hold as much weight as I feel like some people want it to or believe it is.
I'm sorry
Um
doesn't, but once someone hits the I want to apologize,
I guess yeah. Yeah.
that's like, "Oh, okay. You're really trying here." No, it's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
'Cause you could, like, just say, "I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're
And I
sorry."
think it just also depends because like if Bailey, I guess if we could say like were Bailey and Bianca really close beforehand, because otherwise why does she really owe her an apology? Like if we weren't cool beforehand, like why do I owe you anything? You know what I mean? Because then why would you be wanting it from someone that you weren't even friends with, if that makes any sense?
Mhm.
Like they don't owe you anything. You didn't have a personal friendship with them, but
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, there's also just plenty of times in your life where you need to be okay with not receiving an apology, no matter how much you feel you deserve it and how much you feel like that person needs to do it. You have to learn to be okay with never receiving it because
Yeah.
that's life. So, not trying to turn this into some
No,
philosophical,
but that's what we do
but
here, baby. We just, we lay the truth, we speak, and, we help out and put some connections into the real life with this stuff, and that's kinda what it is, you know?
mhm,
We all
mm,
go through that stuff where you're like, "I will wish this person would apologize." It's like, you're not gonna get it. Like,
yeah,
I really agree, but it's just not gonna happen, and, wrestling, like, situations like this, they're parallel.
mhm. Is there anything else, or did you want to move on?
I'm, just happy to see David's here, listening while working. All right,
Thank you.
talking about our loyal peeps here. And David, I'm not even gonna put it up there. Bianca's not going to AEW. I'm just gonna
Oh,
let you
not with
know.
Montez in
No,
WWE.
it's when they have a show for you and you're as young as you are the future of the division. Um, Lucky Kratos, I feel like I've seen it before, but
I
this is the
can't.
easiest. We already know this. For anyone here, it's Becky. It's interchangeable between you and I. Becky Bailey, one. Um, and then Sasha, Mercedes, and Charlotte.
I feel like I have such a hard time with mine. Becky's number 1, for sure. I'm but I feel like the rest, it's like it's so hard because they've all done some really great things and had some big moments, and it's hard to like. I think it's hard for me to do it in an unbiased way. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, I get people are going to say I'm biased towards Becky, and there is a part of me that, of course, it is because I love her.
Mhm.
But I do think that she's better than the others. But
Mhm.
how the rest of the order goes, I honestly, I don't know. Like, I would have to really sit there and like actually think about it. Um, because like I don't want to just put Charlotte last because people would say, well, you're just doing it because you don't like her. But I don't know. It's like when I think about certain moments in wrestling history, I think I've enjoyed like Sasha Banks matches more than I've enjoyed Charlotte's, or I think
Way
she's,
more.
you know what I mean? So it's like, I think it just, yeah, it depends on the criteria, I guess, because I feel like it's too subjective
Way
to
too
just,
subjective.
because otherwise, yeah, I would put Charlotte at the bottom, but that's because I enjoy her the least, but that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. It's
um,
not.
I can tell you that I think Becky's won. That's that's the thing. I think I would have it would be an argument between like who's two between Bailey and Sasha, and then whoever's not two would be three, and I would probably
And
put
then
Charlotte at four.
hey,
But
that's there it is.
yeah,
We got there.
that's not a popular answer, I'm sure, but it is what it is.
Let's go to the land down under to
Yes, let's
A-Town
do it.
and
So,
taking on the Good Brothers.
so first thing,
Michin, I don't want to. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. But Michin,
hot as
wow,
fuck. That
yeah, like
selfie.
that was
I know.
an aura. Like
Yeah.
that's you know what that's a good way. Quick little. That's what hot is. Like she had like a hot aura to her when she came out in those like heel Timbies, and
Yep.
then that look like that was like an OC. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Michin. Besides the
Yeah.
look or whatever, but like that was just like sent to
Yeah.
another level.
No, I know. I saw her the selfie and I was like, girl, okay.
Girl, get
Get it,
it.
girl. I praise to
Get
the mid
it.
30 girls. Hey. Um, but what I was gonna say is the first thing that we needed to address is Def Rebel. Why you gotta do our mans like this? Why?
The Good
Why did
Brothers.
no, why did you change Austin Theory's theme? Why did you ruin
They
it?
did.
Yeah, why?
Did I
Why did
really not catch on that?
I think yeah. Unless it's something that has been happening over the last couple weeks and I just didn't notice it until now, but holy moly.
Whoa. Whoa, we gotta stop here. This is our biggest dono that we've got in a
Ah!
while. $10.
Thank you so oh my gosh,
Thank
it's
you.
yellow too?
That's what I'm saying. It's why that's a new color. I've never
Thank
seen that.
you.
That's why
Thank
I
you
had to stop.
thank you so much, Will. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. I don't think Bianca wants an apology. It's more if she I think it's more of she don't want Naomi to be part of it, but Naomi been cool with Bailey, so she feels bad for her. Yes, that's it. It's a really
Yeah.
tough situation like that.
Yeah, I think it's I think some of it too is this is part of the thing that I love about what Triple H is doing, where some of the stories and the interactions and friendships and feuds or whatever go beyond what we see on screen. It involves actual real life friendships, and we know that
Mm,
Bianca and Naomi were very close
mhm.
before Naomi left. So I do like that they're kind of bringing that aspect in because otherwise, like it's not that like deep, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Naomi was just
exactly.
gone. So yeah, I think it's more of she doesn't want to feel like she's the only one that feels wronged by damage control. It
Mhm.
again, it feels like a Drew McIntyre um bloodline or Jay Uso situation or even Kevin Owens for a while. Like they were so wronged and hurt and whatever by the bloodline, including Jay
Yeah.
Uso, that they were like, we can't forgive you. And that kind of feels like what Bianca is dealing with. And so the idea of Naomi kind of almost in a way without exclusively doing it,
Mhm.
okaying their behavior because she's like cozying up to Bailey probably feels like a slap in the face to Bianca is my guess.
1,000% does. Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you,
Thank you so much,
Will.
Will. That was really awesome. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, A Town down was bad already. I feel like it's worse. If it hasn't changed, I apologize. I guess I just didn't notice it until this past week. But Def Rebel, stop. Just stop. Stop putting your Def Rebel stamp on everything. That's what I want to know. Why? You just need to stop. Please,
It's
just stop
so
doing it.
bad. It's so bad. It's what you did to the Creed brothers
I know.
should be tried for war crimes.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
so bad.
it's yeah. So we had A-Town Down Under versus the Good Brothers. Holla to the Good Brothers because I love me some Good Brothers. I'm sorry, I don't care. Bullet Club has my heart. It's the Bullet Club. Okay, some of the original Bullet Club members, like the
Mhm,
more first ones,
mhm.
because it was kind of like the NWO. They just keep going, just new members all the time. And Cody was also a brief member of the Bullet Club, but whatever. Um,
He made us know that last night.
yeah. So this was a fine match. Obviously, we knew what was going to happen. We knew that A-Town Down Under was going to win because the Good Brothers are involved in NXT stuff. So, of course, they weren't going to. And I'm fine with this because as I said, when we talked about Raw, we needed another heel team in the tag team 6-pack challenge because it cannot just be Judgment Day versus all the teams that people love. We can't have that.
Exactly. No.
And I do think that Grayson and Austin can put on a banger ladder match. So I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm for it.
They easily could.
Yes. And then we got the second match of the night for the tag team tourney, which was AOP versus the Street Profits. And I mean, come on. Everyone, you thought everything was stacked in AOP's favor because why wouldn't you? These are giant boulder men. Like, I mean,
That
but that's
move where Montez got thrown into Angelo was absolutely incredible. Like he comes out, does the sunset flip, and then gets thrown into Angelo. Like that's tag team wrestling back. Like that's the moves I want to see heading into this division.
well, and I feel that's like kind of an underrated part of Montez is that he's really good at becoming a rag doll. I would say it's almost reminiscent of like Dolph Ziggler because I would say Dolph Ziggler is one of the best sellers
Best sellers in the
ever.
game.
And I would say Montez is, getting up there. I'm not saying he's anywhere near Dolph at this point, but it
No,
makes
yeah.
it a lot more entertaining because sometimes I feel like you do have to oversell a little bit when there is such a big size difference because obviously they're not really throwing him as hard as they might make it look because they can't. Obviously, they're going to injure someone if they did. But yeah, the Street Profits win. We stand. We love it. They're probably going to lose, but we will see next week. I'm assuming next week. Street Profits versus A-Town Down Under, and whoever wins is added to the 6-pack challenge. And then we'll also get New Catch Republic versus Legado del Fantasma, and whoever wins that will be the other team of the Smackdown roster to be in the 6-pack challenge. So I think I'm not thrilled at the idea of Judgment Day probably losing the tag titles, but that is going to be an incredible match. And I've never seen a ladder match in person. So I'm excited.
Me? Oh yeah. Oh, interesting. I went to
Yeah.
Money in the Bank, so I have. So, but yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
be lit. It's gonna be awesome.
Why did I read this and I sang it as Hannah Montana? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those. Yeah. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Come on, everybody gets that way.
Yeah. I wasn't even like a Hannah Montana fan, but it's the time.
I was. I was.
All right. Then we get into another match, which was Io Sky versus Naomi. And of course, it ends in chaos because when there is a faction involved, why wouldn't it? It's like wrestling. That's what happens. It's like, peanut butter and jelly. That's just what happens. So before the match, first, we see Io beating up Bayley, which I am here for because so far it's just been like an exchange of words and it's been other people doing stuff to Bayley in Damage Control and not Io. So I'm like, it's about time for Io to be like, I'm fed up with you. I'm going to take matters into my own hands, and I was like, okay, girl, get it. Like, let's be supportive of Bayley even more. So we see that in the back. Io versus Naomi was a great match. It was fine. It served its purpose, but of course, it's the chaos at the end that we're here for, I guess. Io wins, but she's not alone because why would she be alone? So Damage Control come in to attack Naomi. Asuka missed her, which I was like, okay, this girl can't wrestle right now. She injured, but her mouth with that miss ain't injured. Okay. So she hits Naomi with the miss. Bianca then comes out and she just goes full like Catwoman.
Oh,
Wonder
she was
Woman.
done. She was
Yeah.
like, "Nuh-uh,
Yeah,
girl, uh-uh."
She goes after literally everyone. She sends Dakota into the steel steps. She gets a spine buster to Kyrie. She's just literally doing anything she can. But eventually the efforts don't work and the baby faces end up kind of like, yeah. But I'm like, hey, you know what? You got to do it because we got to fuel that, furthering that storyline and then fueling the support for Bayley, Bianca, Naomi. I'm assuming it's more so for Bayley, but I mean, I'm excited about this match. I feel like they could have done absolutely nothing between the time that Bayley won the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and I would have still been excited about this match because I'm just excited for Bayley. So, like, everything else that they're doing, I'm like, Damage Control is doing a really great job about it. I think Bayley is doing a great job, and they've made it interesting to have Bianca and Naomi in a part of it. It doesn't feel necessarily forced, so like, I'm still looking forward to that match.
I agree.
And then we gotta talk about my girl, my queen. I'm so excited. Like, it's funny because I tweeted the video, the promo video of her, whatever, the hype video. And I was like, I'm obsessed. And people are like, welcome to the club. I'm like, bitch, I haven't been around like that long. Like, I'm not saying I was like watching her in AEW religiously or anything, but I was like, I've been obsessed with this girl. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it right now. And Jade is the headline. I love that.
She's awesome.
Phenomenal name. Phenomenal nickname. If that's what they're going to keep going with. I don't care. They could have called her anything. She could just be
the
Jade.
Headline is nice.
Yeah.
The headline's a good name.
So we finally are told that Jade will be debuting next week as an official superstar of the Smackdown brand. And I'm conflicted because on one hand, I'm like, yes, finally the queen has arrived. We are finally seeing her and what they're going to do with her, whatever. But I kind of hate that she's going to SmackDown. And this was one of the things that I said that I really did not want to happen because SmackDown is so stacked with talent in the women's division, and Jade would have been a great addition to Raw. So obviously it makes sense that they're going to put her on SmackDown just because we assume she's going to be teaming or a part of the Damage Control feud storyline with Bianca and Naomi. My only thought about this and the silver lining that I'm trying to take away from it is the draft is not that long after Mania. We assume because that's what they did last year. So please either take some talent from SmackDown to keep Jade there or move Jade to Raw. Because we cannot have Jade, Bianca, Naomi, Bayley, Io, Asuka, Kyrie, who did I say? Dakota?
You didn't say Dakota.
Okay, Dakota. Who else is on SmackDown? Oh, Tiffany. Michin. Like, there's just so many women. And then when you think about Raw, it's like Becky, Rhea,
Nia.
and Nia. But and then it's like everybody else. Because then also a SmackDown, Charlotte, when Charlotte's back. But then it's like Becky, Rhea, Nia, and then it's like it seems like a significant drop off.
Yeah, they're trying to do the Raw roster to I feel like a young. It's more of the Triple H Black and Gold women to get that roster, and the SmackDown it's all about the big names. Because if you look at the guys on SmackDown, they're not a lot of big name guys.
No, and I get it, but I feel like
Roman you know what I mean?
And I feel like they need to just have a better balance because the whole point is wanting people to go to both shows. There were times where, when I was going to shows all the time and SmackDown would be coming to town, I'd be like, it's fine. I don't need to go. Or Raw's here, I don't need to go, depending on the year. And it's like, you don't want that to still be happening.
I don't think it is. I think it's
but you know what I'm saying? If they balanced the rosters more, especially for the women, because it's like if there are a lot of people out there who are mostly fans of women's wrestling, but why would they go to Raw if they only have 3 top girls that they could see when they could go and see 10 on SmackDown? That's all I mean. But hey, we get to see Jade. I just want to see
Tiffany on SmackDown.
I know. I'm sad though because she probably isn't going to be on Mania, but it is what it is. Maybe I can meet her and just confess my love for her. I don't know. We got another super chat if you want to.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got an important text about Mania actually. That I'm responding to. Got some big news, Sarah, for
Like
us.
what?
Media credentials potential. So,
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Will again
I don't
with
thank
the.
you. Oh my
Thank you
goodness.
so much again. I got a theory that I think they're doing Bianca, Naomi, and Jade versus Oscar, Kyrie, and Dakota at
Yes.
Mania. But if Oscar's hurt,
I mean, and I don't think that's bad because like if they have to use Jade, even in a just like a support system
yeah,
managerial way, then I think that's still fine because
yeah,
then
I'm
it's like,
down with
okay,
it.
well, Asuka's not going to do anything because she has to deal with Jade if she does. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
or they could go with some angle where Bianca or Naomi get hurt, but I don't really feel like that would happen because I think Bianca and Naomi are more in this storyline than Jade, and it would seem wrong to take one of them out of Mania at this point. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think they're all going to be at Mania in some capacity, and it could also be 2-on-2 because it's like if Asuka can't compete, then maybe we'll do the whole like Dakota will defend the tag team titles with Kyrie against Bianca and Naomi. What a full circle that would be for Naomi winning the tag titles with Bianca.
That would be way wicked full circle.
Yeah, so that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I just want Chelsea Green to be tag champ again.
Yeah, as long as they just book them right, you know what I mean?
I just want
So,
Chelsea Green to win.
yeah, I know. I feel you.
It's my girl. Chelsea Green.
Um,
Yeah, what do we got next, girl? What
we
we
got
got?
RKKO.
Yes! This was my favorite segment of the night, hands down.
So Kevin Owens is backstage talking to Nick Aldis, who recently had surgery on his bicep or tricep, whatever it was. Still looking good though, so it's okay. And he still shows up, you know, because he does his job. You know, he doesn't have to be champion to show up. He still
What?
comes to show and do his
Who
job.
wouldn't show up to not do their job,
I don't
Sarah?
know. Never heard of
Not
her.
my Universal Champion.
No, that my heavyweight champion is Gunther. So anyway, Pretty Deadly decide they want to roll up, and I was like, "Thank you, boys, because I missed you." And they are complaining to Aldis about how there was a conspiracy against them because they are not going to Mania, and he needs to do something about it. Because like, what
Good
the hell?
point.
And I'm like, "This is me. This is me. I just said Triple
I
H
did I
hates
did
them.
yeah, I did listen to their complaint through your mouth. So
Yes, that was me.
I kind of yeah, that was
Yep.
you. Okay.
So, you know, Kevin is there and he is not that enthused, but he
Yeah.
says, "Okay, well, I'll give you a match next week, with my partner. We'll wrestle you guys next week, and it will be Randy Orton." And that's when Randy just pops up out of nowhere, and that's when everyone starts being like, "Ah ha 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 ha," because Elton
What do you
gets
mean?
terrified of Randy just popping up out of nowhere, and
What?
he then agrees to be
Fanny pack?
Kevin's.
I
Your
don't know
mic
where
is
it is.
on. Your mic is on.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
continue.
okay. So Randy appears out of nowhere and scares Elton. Remy, I love you so much, girly, but stop it. I'm just trying to finish a sentence. Okay. Whew. So Randy agrees to be Kevin's partner, but also makes sure to compliment Elton on his jacket and says it looks like something his dad used to
I
wear.
did like that shout out. That was nice. I like
Yes.
we give a good cowboy Bob Orton a shout out.
And so Pretty Deadly are standing there and they're still kind of just like, oh my God. And Nick Aldis kind of tries to tell them, like, you might not want to stand like that. And that's when Kevin Owens comes out of nowhere and punches them in the face at the same time. So we're getting Pretty Deadly versus RKKO next week. And as a huge Pretty Deadly fan, I'm a little conflicted. I feel like that's just how it is with everything that
They
we've
could
talked
sneak
about.
a win though.
Because this is the thing, who needs the win?
Pretty deadly.
Pretty Deadly needs to win. We don't need to see Kevin Owens and Randy Orton being BFFs before they face off for the US title. Like, we don't need that to happen. Like, that could be a way to set up that they have issues with each other before the match, because like that's more I mean, to me that's a little bit more interesting that they're more on edge with each other, like going into the match. Like maybe it was an accident that something happens and that's how Pretty Deadly win, but it's still like planting the seeds of them not going against Logan Paul as buddies, you know? Because I'm like, come on, guys, the way that they brought up Pretty Deadly and the way that they were booking them at first was so good, and it's just gone downhill since then. Basically, since they brought them back once Elton was fine after Ridge hurt him, I feel like they don't do anything with them, and it's like, but it's a segment like this that proves why you should be,
Absolutely.
and why they shouldn't be jobbers. Also,
Yeah. No, they were really good in that segment. Like
they're hilarious.
they were so funny. Like that, it was perfect. And to be put with a guy like Kevin Owens, who only enhances your hilarity. I just, it was perfect. Like the end when he punches both of them, he goes, "Randy, I did it again. See, I did." Like, and the way they sold it, like, just incredible. Yes, there's what I was gonna say.
And I don't even care. You know,
Don't even care.
if that's how it happens, then I'm all for it because they deserve it. Okay. I know it's not necessarily a common opinion, but
yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy!
Yes, boy. So I just need to see more Pretty Deadly in my life. Oh my god, if they are at Thursday or Friday Access, I will cry. I'll just be like, I told my sister, I was like, if I meet them, I need Pat to meet them with me and have him be my hype man. Like, tell them, oh my gosh, she's obsessed with you. Like, she loves you so much.
I am the best hype man.
Because I would be very nervous. It's like I want to meet Imperium, like even if it's just Gio and Ludwig, but I'm like, they're gonna be like, this girl likes her.
No, but here's the thing: if you bring me along, like, here's the thing: like all that negative, like that, like you vile, like all that you're worried about, they can say that to me, be like, yeah, I'm not you, I know, and then they'll be like, so, but like, why are you with him? Like, oh, that, like, you shouldn't be, and then you're like, yes, I don't know why I'm with him. Come here, Gio, I will leave you. Like,
I know. Imagine I just ignore Kaiser and I'm just like, hi, Gio. Like,
that would be so funny.
I wouldn't do that though.
No, you should. You should ignore Ludwig. So, like, Gio, what's like?
Gio, you are a star, and I don't like how they're treating you. I have always said,
give Kaiser the Kaiser look, like, to him.
Kaiser cool.
That disgusting Kaiser look that he gives. Give it right back to him. That'd be incredible. That would be so funny.
That would be funny.
Oh my god, I hear the nails tapping. Vinny, what are you doing? You can't, like, listen, I was on the page, I was like, all right, they're just like a, another tag team, whatever. But then, like, if you watch their stuff and you realize that it's so creative and they pay attention to, like, the littlest of details, which is why their stuff is so good, and their heel work in the ring, like how they win matches, how they team together, like they are very good. And it's like, oh shit, maybe I'm not as obsessed as, the best of the West over there, but like I'm a fan. Because if you actually look at them as a legit tag team and all this, like, no, they have potential. They could be champions. Like, them as champions would be hilarious in the fact that, and not in the joking hilarious, but like, it'd be awesome because then they would bring such a different element to the tag team championship that we have not seen since like Edge and Christian.
Well, and I always say that you guys, if you don't like them, that's fine. But I do think that you should watch their time in NXT.
Respect them.
Well, but watch them in NXT because like you're not really getting a good look at what they can do on SmackDown. So, but they were hilarious and they were like some of the top guys in NXT. So that tells you a lot. And they're multi-time NXT tag team champions. They actually were the ones that
unified them.
Unified them. That's the word I was looking for. And moving on to another fantastic segment.
I love home invasions.
So do I
love them. I don't know why, but like it just gives another element to it. Love it.
I mean, none of them will live up to like the Randy Orton.
Oh, Triple H just barrels down his front door with a sledgehammer. Yeah, like nothing's ever compared to that.
Yeah. But we all knew that this was probably going to happen, and I don't care. I think this is hilarious, and this is also like a way for LA Knight to do something that's kind of old school you know, and make it his own. And it's funny because he also didn't go in the house. So it's like, that's a little bit different, you know?
It's very different.
So when AJ Styles kind of was asking for him to come to his house anyway, because he was like, I'm not coming to SmackDown. Like, I'm gonna be chilling till Mania at my house. Like, I'll see you there. And so of course LA's like, nah, bro, I'll meet you there, bro. Like, I'll be there.
I'll honk my horn until you come outside.
So AJ is being interviewed, and that's when he hears the honking. So he goes out. He is met by LA. They are brawling, of course. The cops come. They cuff LA, but they do not arrest him because AJ Styles is like, you know what? No, I don't want to press charges. And I'm like, yeah, because you look like a weakling. That's what they would call you. Be like, oh, you want to press charges for this man? Because you could have stayed in your house, brother.
You could have.
You know?
You could have. You did
it seems like LA was trying to be somewhat respectful. Like, because he could have tried to barge in your house and like knock the door down. But no, he was like, you know what? Let him come to me. You could have just been like, no, I'm chilling in my gym. I'm staying here. You know? Oh. Yep. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. And, you know, it's not exactly what I think we were all wanting to see for LA Knight, but it's LA Knight versus AJ Styles. So
it's gonna be a banger.
Well, and they've done a good job, I think, of making it more interesting, you know, because it was kind of slow. They seem to have paused it, and then it was reignited at Elimination Chamber, but not a whole lot has happened since then. So
AJ Styles flew halfway across the world to hit this man with a chair and ruin his WrestleMania. Yes, that's why we love it.
Yeah, so I am excited about that. And then we get to the main event, which is not a real main event, but it is what it is, right? We wanted to see Roman Reigns.
It is what it is.
Come face to face with Cody Rhodes again. And after taking like 18 minutes to get from Gorilla to the ring, Roman finally gets on the mic and he said he kept his word and that he came to SmackDown alone. He honored what he said, or what the wise man said. So Cody can feel free and feel safe to come out and acknowledge him. So Cody comes out, says that he also kept his word and he is alone too. And then Roman just goes off on a tangent like, you're an idiot. And he is just trying to create further concern for Cody when trusting Seth to be his partner on the first night of Mania, but then also like if he's going to be in your corner on the second night, like how do you trust him? He mentions how they were in the Shield together and says that Seth was kind of like his little brother. But where was he on Monday for you? And do you remember how we had a bond when we were in the Shield? And he turned on us. And what do you think's going to happen to you, Cody? Seth's done it before. What do you think is going to happen to you? So then Cody is like, okay, yeah, the Shield were great, but I just want to remind you of something. Who was the first team to beat them? That's right. That was me and my brother, Dustin.
Last name was Rhodes, is what he said. And it was like, we did it. Who did he pin? You know who he pinned?
Roman.
No, Seth.
Seth, okay.
So
I don't know. I was like, that would have been more cool if it was Roman. But
if I wouldn't have known that if I didn't just watch it.
Oh, okay.
Just a heads up. Like, yeah, but they could do something with that if we're talking about turns.
Yes. So he says that he's not sure. Cody says that he's not sure that he can trust Seth. Obviously, the bloodline isn't just a faction. They are a family. So the trust is kind of just there. And he doesn't have that with Seth, you know, but Seth might hate his guts, but he knows with certainty that he hates Roman much more. Cody then starts to do what I have been waiting for him to do. And that is trying to make Roman question his allyship with The Rock, because he says, who's really in charge of the bloodline? Is it the tribal chief?
Or is
it the final boss? And I was like, that's right. I love it. And then of course it's just blah 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 blah.
No, it's not just blah blah blah.
Roman says Cody
calls him a politician.
Yes, I know, but I feel like that's just like an old line because people were saying it even in AEW. So that's why I'm like, yeah. But he says that Cody is the number 2 and he is the greatest number 2 of all time.
He's the greatest number 2.
But that's all he will ever be because Roman will be number one forever. Cody says that they both grew up in the industry, and they always wanted to be the next Bruno, the next Flair, Hogan, Rock, Austin, Cena. And I was like, thank you, Cody, for shutting up my man Cena. Thank you, I appreciate that. And he's like, many kids are probably wanting to, eventually they're going to want to grow up and be just like you, Roman. They're going to want to be the next Roman. But when it comes to beating you, Roman, I'm number one. And he says he wishes Roman good luck at WrestleMania. He wanted to shake his hand, which a lot of people took an issue with. But Roman backs up and shakes Paul's hand instead. And then, of course, both of them are lying. Solo and Big Jim Uso show up, but so does Seth and Jay. And then that's the end of SmackDown. So what is your impression, I guess, of how this went? Because I was seeing kind of conflicted responses to this, and I don't blame people, but I think that some people were kind of like taking it too far. Like I saw people being like, oh, Roman clears Cody easy. And I'm like, no, he doesn't.
No. And
like,
Cody didn't clear Roman easily either. I want to put that out there.
But they were people who were saying it about this, but they were also saying just in general, which I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. But okay, let's show how many iconic promos does he have? Okay, how many good matches does Roman have that didn't have a severe stipulation? Show me a one-on-one match, a normal one-on-one match.
I'm just saying that I thought this segment did its job. Roman did a very good job of setting the tone from where he's coming from. Cody obviously is good on the mic, so I don't need to go into detail of how well he did. But the whole purpose of this entire thing was it was supposed to be a one-on-one face-off. And it was. And then at the end, Roman does what everyone expected. And he does that, snaps the fingers, who comes out but the bloodline. And the point, if this was WrestleMania 39, Cody's getting attacked, blah, 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 bloodline stand tall.
Yeah.
But because it's a year from the last one, it's, the story we're in, Cody comes in for backup now with Jay and Seth. So now all that's saying is that they're now on an even playing field. That was the whole concept of this face-off, was to prove the point that they are on an equal playing field. Whether Roman wants to believe it or not, Cody doubts that he is, because he has backup. And I saw SRS tweet this, and I couldn't agree more with this man. I want the most overbooked, people, whatever, in this main event as possible.
That's what's going to happen, hands down. Yeah.
It's all I care about. And if this is what we're going to get with all that, that's all it's doing, is just planting the seed for it. You could say that Cody did this and Roman cooked that. That's great. I love to see your bias showing. But you want to look at it unbiasedly. All it did was just set the tone that they are on an equal playing field for this Mania. That's all it is. And they did a very good job of portraying that.
And they have to do kind of like the opposite of what they've already done, because last year it was like, okay, Cody's the underdog, like he's the scared little puppy going against the neighbor's pit bull, and like he has no chance. But now we're a year later, Cody has earned his way back to getting another chance, but he's figured Roman out, so he's not a typical opponent for Roman. And yeah, he's gonna want to come in more confident, but then he also has to maintain the corny babyface things of like, let me shake your hands, you might hate it, but that's Cody. And it fits though. Like
it 1,000% does.
It's like you can't have him veer too much away from like who Cody is at the end of the day, just because you want to see him be a little bit more aggressive or something. We just saw that on Monday. So it's like, he's not going to do that. And it doesn't mean anything anyway. You want to save that for the match. Like you want to see that beast inside Cody during the match, not beforehand,
That lady did cook Roman though.
I know. I was gonna
That
talk
was
about it. Oh
okay.
my
So yeah,
god.
go off.
Yes. So when when Roman is standing there as SmackDown's like getting off, about to get off air, and he's just
Yeah.
like standing there like with that annoying smile. The camera is like so close to a woman ringside, and then she says, like, you need a room full of strangers to acknowledge your bitch ass. And I was like, Queen. Because I'm like,
They knocked it, they muted her as she said that's so fucking funny.
oh, okay, yeah.
They muted. I read her lips because I
Yeah.
saw it online before, and then I rewatched it. And I'm like, what did they blow her? And they like as acknowledge your bitch ass, and then it mutes, and then you can read her lips, and it just says that's so fucking funny, and you can see the people like looking at her like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like she cooked them. She
Yeah.
did. That was funny. That was really funny. I gotta give you that.
That's the thing that's like, I think that we've seen glimpses of throughout this time of Roman being the tribal chief is like the underlying insecurity of anyone in that position. That I think that's part of what makes him the tribal chief. Like, why do you think that he thinks like, oh, if you don't agree with him or you don't do what he says or what he tells you to do, that you're somehow against him or you don't respect him? It's like, yeah, because he's insecure, that's why he has followers. So yeah, I love that she like used that against him, and he definitely heard her. So I was like, Queen, you are a queen. That was fantastic. Thank you. Because that was going viral last night. And I was like, yeah, that was incredible. I was like, she is me, but thoughts in my head. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say that out loud.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't, but someone did.
Yes.
Someone did.
Yes. Did you want to do comments to close us out?
Oh, did you not want to do the last banner?
No.
No?
No.
All right. Then we'll close this out with some comments. Imagine Cody winning, then The Rock restarts the match. I'll die laughing when Roman wins. No. Okay,
No.
that may be in SmackDown vs. Raw, but not in this world.
My only thing that I could see happening is maybe Seth does something fishy potentially on night one in the tag match, or he is the one that gets pinned to lose, and so Cody is like, oh my gosh, like, you're the reason why I'm gonna have to go to war tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because I kind of feel like, as entertaining as it might be to see Seth turn on Cody, it makes no sense for him to be getting that heel heat going in a match against Drew McIntyre. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So I see it more so being like Seth probably loses or something. But I do think that The Rock is going to turn on Roman the second Roman loses. I think that's what's going to happen, because then it's going to be like, okay, yeah, you're proving that you're not the matriarch of this family, because now you don't even have the title. Like, you're a weakling, blah, blah, blah. I'm the final boss. I'm the tribal chief. I feel like that makes the most sense to me, and it gets people excited about finally seeing Cody versus Rock. Roman versus Rock in 2025.
I think that, yeah, we're gonna see that in 2025. Wait, hold on. I will bring this up because this is the one clip I think that we need to. It's going viral everywhere. Last night, Rhea Ripley did the stink face to Nia Jax, and
Nia liked it.
I think a lot of people would envy Nia in that position. This is your champ and best saying that, like, it's great. Calm it down. That's all we're gonna say. Just you dogs out there in the world, including myself. This is still great for me because of how good Cody and Roman are right now. It is. They're the two top of the company for different reasons, and it definitely feels like a metaphorical torch is being passed. This to me feels a lot like WrestleMania 14. This really feels like a WrestleMania 14 type feel with Michaels and Austin.
Or you could say Hogan and Rock.
No, but different. There's a reason why
it's a little different, but I just mean like the significance of the match is what I mean. Like,
I'm going with the HBK Austin because once Austin won, that was the definitive era that we're in, the definitive moment, excuse me, that we're in a new era.
Yeah.
And I know that Sam Roberts or someone on Chris Van Fleet's podcast said that, the bloodline story in its entirety is the symbol or signal that we are in a new era of professional wrestling. It's this. It's Cody at Mania going to be holding the title that, okay, things are new now, things are different, and it's for the better. So to me, when
Some
I see a
people
lot of
argue that Cody's return was the signal.
he
But
said that too, and I don't think so.
I think anything that had to do with Vince, you can't say that was the new era. You
Yeah,
can't.
you
You
can't.
can't.
I'm sorry, you can't, because since he left, things have got so much better, and it's pushed the industry and the business in the right direction to where it can grow and become something like an Attitude Era again, where you get people in to watch not because they're wrestling fans per se, but because they're just thoroughly entertained by your product.
Yeah, like I think that people are there are blips in the bloodline storyline that are really good, like Roman versus Jay to begin with, like back,
Yeah.
years ago, or the Sammy involvement last year, but I wouldn't say the bloodline story was consistently great. So I think that's why it's like you can't really say that's redefined and like push this
Mhm.
new era. It's like, well, Vince helped create the bloodline. It started when Vince was around. I think that it got better when Triple H was there, but it didn't last because then Roman just like took 3 months off and then it just kind of like took all the steam out of it. So I feel like, yeah, we're in a new era, but I think it's more so of the influence of Triple H than like any one particular moment defining it. You know what I mean? It's just like
Mhm.
like we've talked about aura. It's like you can feel there's something different in the air that, and you see it by arenas and stadiums being sold out every night. Like
Mhm.
that's more indicative of it, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We'll wrap up with this comment here from Ed. I feel like you're new, so we'll give you some love here. Does it feel like Rhea and Alexis Thomas carry the Judgment Day atop? Respectfully, feels like you take anyone else out, I don't think it would be too much impact. That's just more right now. I don't think is entirety. It's just the way it's rolling into Mania. I think everyone in Judgment Day is a vital part of it, and they do their job, but I don't think that they're carrying them. It's just more elevating them to popularity.
I think it's just they don't know like what to do with them because even then Dom is the only one who's on basically every single week and actually doing something. Because
Mhm,
Rhea has been in backstage segments every other week. She's not been on every single week. Or she's coming out and being like, Becky, haha, and the tag champions, it's like I feel like the Judgment Day is mostly Dom and JD at this point because
it
they're
really is.
they're the ones on every week, and I don't really understand how Finn and Damian are tag champions and they don't know what to do with them. It's like they're the tag team champions though.
You know?
And then they're at like every live event on the weekends.
Mhm,
And so it's just very confusing how that's translating to Raw, but yeah.
it is. I don't
Yeah.
think they're carrying it, but they need something. That's why we have Mania coming up, and after we're gonna get more answers to answer our questions. And thank you all for tuning into this edition of the Smackdown Breakdown. We'll be back on Tuesday for the Raw Rewind. Last Raw Rewind before we go down. Sarah, we could do a live Raw Rewind actually when we're down there. We're probably going to be doing stuff like that anyways.
Well,
So,
maybe though, because we leave the next day.
no, I leave Tuesday.
I know, but you mean oh, you mean like 2 days like we no, we leave on when wait, what?
I leave on Tuesday next week.
Oh,
Like after Easter.
I'm leaving on Wednesday though.
Oh, I leave on Tuesday.
Oh, I'm getting there Wednesday night.
Oh, okay. I took it off of work. I was just going I this is my one big vacation of the year, so I went all with
Oh.
it. So
Oh.
I'm getting there
Okay.
Tuesday.
Okay. I'm Wednesday to Tuesday. So,
Okay, I'm Tuesday to Tuesday. I'm
got
just
it.
getting there a day before. I'm hanging out because I'm going to a Phillies game that night.
Oh, got
Yeah,
it.
Kyle's taking me around Philly. because I've never been to Philadelphia. So not only is WrestleMania there, but I've been doing stuff with Underground for a while, and he's been up here, so I gotta go check out there. I gotta go see my Philly peeps, my Philly brothers down in Philly. So I'll be there on Tuesday. But yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday for the Raw Rewind. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell notification to know every time we post. We got clips coming out almost every day. Share those, love those, and get the interaction going. And then WrestleMania is so close. We're still selling tickets. We still have our tickets. Please, if you know anyone who's have even the slightest bit interested in going, we will make it happen for them. So get the word out, and also go to the link in the descriptions to follow us on all our social media platforms, where we do all our tweeting and stuff. So thank you, Vinny. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for tuning into this edition of the Smackdown Breakdown. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. See you on Tuesday. Yes. See you on Tuesday.